Hello, classic rock fans, and hello, James Bond fans. I am here today to tell you about a new release from La La Land Records that I am really excited about. This is the 35th anniversary re-release of the soundtrack of the film License to Kill. License to Kill is my favorite James Bond movie, so when I saw that the soundtrack of the film was going to be re-released with this special expanded 2-disc set edition, I got my pre-order in immediately, and it has finally arrived, so I want to show you what comes with it, what's on it, and then I'll talk about how you can get a copy. Alright, got the package here, so let's get this open. Alright. You know what? I need to use my Rambo knife letter opener. This is the Rambo First Blood Part 2 letter opener because the Rambo 3 knife is a bit big for the job here. So let's see if I can carefully open this without damaging what's inside. There we go. Let's see what we have in here. Aha! Here it is. License to Kill on CD, 2 CDs, and it is just packed full of music. 30 tracks on the first disc, which is an hour and 14 minutes long, and then we've got a total of 26 tracks on disc 2, which is also an hour and 14 minutes long, so the total runtime for this is just a shade under 2.5 hours, and we've got nearly 60 tracks worth of music. This is wrapped in cellophane, so oh boy, I don't know if I can open this on my own. Nope, I'm gonna have to bring my Rambo First Blood Part 2 letter opener back into the fold. Let's see if it can do the job. Yeah, very good. Okay, again, this is just for opening mail. That's it. What else would you use it for? Okay, there you go. Get a nice look at that. Hopefully that's not too reflective. And then here is the back side of the disc. Okay, that's a little bit better there. So you can see, yeah, nearly 60 tracks worth of music. Okay, let's open this up here. Ooh! First thing you see, beautiful, the tanker truck explosion. One of the best shots, not just in the movie, but in the whole frickin' series, as far as the action scenes. That one shot of the tanker hitting the truck and exploding. Fantastic. Okay. And then on the backside here, there's Timothy Dalton. So, the discs are on either side of this divider here. Nice design. Everything looks in order there. Let's take a look at the booklet. Okay, once again, here's the cover. And then on the first page, we have, looks like some commentary, an essay called Problem Eliminator by John Burlingame. And it's a write-up about the film and the soundtrack, and it looks like it goes all through this booklet. Yes, okay, this is a complete write-up on the film and its soundtrack, and that's every page except for the last 2 sections here. I'm not going to read it because it's just far too long, but, you know, I can show you the pages on the interior just to give you an idea of how long this essay is. I'm looking forward to reading this, probably as I'm listening to these CDs. I'm sure it's very interesting. You know, Bond is a very well-protected property, so I know a lot of care and consideration goes into basically every piece of Bond memorabilia, so I'm sure this is a really enjoyable essay here. Okay, and as we get to the back of the booklet, we see some of the credits, a couple of additional photographs in here. Yes, music composed and conducted by the great Michael Kamen. Michael Kamen, who I discussed a little bit when I reviewed the Eric Clapton 24 Nights orchestral release. Michael Kamen was the composer or conductor, whatever, for that. And what's interesting about that time period is that Michael Kamen also worked with Eric Clapton for a Bond song. Eric Clapton was supposed to be involved in the soundtrack for License to Kill, and I guess his version of the James Bond theme surfaced online a couple of years ago. It's not bad. I'm glad they didn't use it. I much prefer the stuff that is on this soundtrack than that Eric Clapton score, but I think it's awesome that that's available now. And needless to say, that Eric Clapton piece that was not used in the film is not included here in this collection. And then the last page, a couple of more photographs, a couple of more song credits on the back end here. These are the like pop tracks, you know, If You Ask Me To by Patti LaBelle and License to Kill by Gladys Knight, the theme song of the film. Those are listed here. Okay. Very good. Very good presentation. I'll take the first disc out here and put that up to the camera so you can take a quick look at this, just to get the details on that. I think that looks pretty good. Disc 2 is identical, except it just says 2 instead of 1. So, there you go. License to Kill, 35th Anniversary Special Edition re-release with all of the music from the film, including tracks that have never been previously, at least officially, released. So if you're a James Bond fan, this is the definitive version of the soundtrack that you should absolutely get for your collection. Now, from what I can see on the La La Land Records website, this is only available on CD. It is not on vinyl. I don't know if it's going to be on vinyl, but La La Land does sell vinyl. I would recommend, if you're a film fan, and especially if you're a movie soundtracks fan, that you check out the La La Land Records website and look through their catalog. This is one of several James Bond soundtrack collections that they have, and their other film soundtrack releases is really good. Like, they have the Beverly Hills Cop movie soundtracks. They've got a 3 CD set of the Dark Crystal soundtrack. That's another phenomenal 80s classic movie soundtrack. I'm really glad I found this label. They are a boutique label that does specialty items like this. Their catalog is for fans, you know, diehard fans who love movies and music, and in particular soundtracks. And I would just recommend checking out their catalog and maybe even signing up for their email list to find out about their new releases, because if License to Kill isn't your favorite James Bond movie or James Bond soundtrack, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the other ones they have is. In fact, I'll just take a quick look here and tell you the other James Bond soundtracks they have. They have License to Kill 35th Anniversary. They have The World Is Not Enough 2 CD set. They have Tomorrow Never Dies Expanded Remastered 2 CD set. They have the 40th Anniversary of the Octopussy soundtrack, also a 2 CD Expanded Remastered collection. They have the Live and Let Die 50th Anniversary Expanded Remastered 2 CD set. I might have to get that one. That's another really good soundtrack. They have the Moonraker 45th Anniversary 2 CD set. I don't know if I'm going to get that one. Oh, and here's a big one. The Goldfinger 60th Anniversary. That's definitely one checking out. And they also have the Man with the Golden Gun 50th Anniversary Remastered and Expanded 2 CD set. I think the Goldfinger one is a single CD. It is. Which is good because it's a little less expensive than these 2 CD sets. The only downside to this collection here is that it was a little pricey. This 2 CD set cost $31.98, and that's a little steep, but not egregious. And I understand, because this is, again, a boutique label. This is a specialty label. They are meant to get stuff to collectors and fans, and that just means sometimes products are a little pricier than the stuff you would find on Amazon or in a Walmart or something. So, yeah, a little bit of a price tag on that, but again, not egregious. Not an outrageous price. So, if that's something you can swing, if you're comfortable with it, I would recommend it because I think this is a really solid collection. Just looking through here, it is all of the music used in the film. So it's the film score and the film soundtrack. And if you didn't know, the score is the instrumental stuff that plays under, various scenes. But the soundtrack are the songs. Like License to Kill by Gladys Knight. That's one of my favorite James Bond theme songs. You have Dirty Love, which is like a fake pop song that plays during the fight scene in the Barrelhead Bar. And then one of the most underrated pieces of the whole James Bond musical catalog, If You Asked Me To by Patti LaBelle, which plays over the end credits in the film. I saw Patti LaBelle twice, actually, a couple of years ago. Twice because the first show was cut short due to a bomb threat on the building. Check out my video about that. That was an interesting scenario that I experienced. But anyway, she did a makeup date for that show a couple of months later, and I went to that as well. And if I'm not mistaken, she only played If You Asked Me To the first night. The night the show was cut short due to a bomb threat. That was kind of the only good thing that happened that night, was that she played If You Asked Me To. She had only gotten a few songs into her set, and I was able to hear her play that song. That is one of my favorite Patti LaBelle songs. That's one of my favorite James Bond soundtrack songs. It is so cool to see that part of this collection. It's so cool just to know that the whole score and soundtrack for this movie are all here in one collection, because this is, again, my favorite James Bond movie. I'm not going to tell you it's the best James Bond movie. I'm just telling you it's my favorite. It's the one I get the most enjoyment out of watching. And the music is a huge part of why that is. So, if you want to get a copy of this expanded and remastered soundtrack of License to Kill, go to lalandentertainment3382.com. Check out all of the James Bond soundtrack options. If this isn't your favorite, hopefully they have one that is. And check out some of the other soundtracks they have on the website. Like I said, a lot of really cool stuff. I suspect I'm going to be a returning customer now that I've found this label. There's definitely some soundtracks on there I like. And if anyone at La La Land Records is listening, please consider putting a expanded and remastered version of the Living Daylights soundtrack on your schedule sometime in the near future. I would love a copy of that collection as well. If you can't tell, I'm a Timothy Dalton fan. I know that puts me out of a step with a lot of James Bond fans, but that's my favorite era. I love Bond in the late 80s with Timothy Dalton, so I'm lucky enough to have the Living Daylights original soundtrack on vinyl, but I would like an expanded re-release on CD as well. So hopefully La La Land Records is able to do that sometime in the future. Otherwise, the last thing I'll show you while we're here is, check this out. License to Kill, the novelization by John Gardner. I've been meaning to read that for years. Now that I've got the CD collection, maybe I'll give that a read. Have you ever read any of the James Bond books? The original Ian Fleming novels, iffy. But from what I remember, the John Gardner books are good. And you know what's funny? You know who's a big fan of the later era James Bond novels? Stephen Pearcy from Rat. I think he did a whole album that was like a tribute to them in recent years. Kind of odd, but also kind of cool. So, that's all I got to say about James Bond today. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you want to see me do more reviews of releases from smaller labels like La La Land Records, please post a comment in the below. Let me know if there's information you'd like me to mention next time, or if you have any questions about this CD, I'm happy to tell you whatever I know. I do like making videos like these because this stuff is for fans, and that's what this channel is all about. Just trying to let you guys know about cool projects that serve fandom, for music and movies. But with that, thanks for watching this review. Please let me know in the comments if you get a copy of this License to Kill 35th Anniversary Special Edition and tell me what you think about it. But with that, I'll just say, bless your heart, and keep rocking.